I'm organizing my thoughts. Okay. When I was about 6 years old, me and my little friends, we were like a little gang. We all rode our little bicycles. I had a red Schwinn with a white banana seat. You know, for those of you who grew up in the 70s, you know what I'm talking about. And our big hero at the time was Evel Knievel. Evel Knievel was a stuntman who did all sorts of crazy stuff. Anyway, he was our big hero, and we all wanted to be like him. And what he did was that he would take his motorcycle and jump off some ramp and usually crash rather disastrously. And so, of course, we wanted to be like Evel Knievel. And so what we did was we found this piece of lumber. And so we scrounged up some cardboard boxes, and we put the piece of lumber on the cardboard boxes like a ramp. And we were going to jump off of it, right? So, of course, I was the first one, you know, because I was crazy enough to do that kind of stuff when I was little. And I pedaled really, really fast, and I hit that ramp, and of course, the boxes collapsed. And, you know, I tumbled head over heels, and it was like a big disaster. It was funny as hell, you know. And, you know, and I got scraped up and banged up enough that nobody really laughed of my little friends. You know, they were all like, wow, that was like a lot. And later I'd show off all these bruises on my arm. You know, they did this, you know, concrete, you know, scrapings on my arm. It looked like grated cheese. And, you know, I was actually a big hero because of this rather spectacular failure. Yeah. Years later, and I'm talking, I must have been like 28, 29. I'm living in New York City, in Manhattan. I'm down in a restaurant in Alphabet City with my girlfriend at the time and a great guy, a guy called Chris, and his girlfriend. And we're doing tequila shots, yeah, before we have dinner, because we're actually waiting for our table. And we do one shot, and then we do another, and we're waiting and talking. And without Chris or I saying a word, while our girlfriends were talking, we wound up in this tequila shot competition. Who could do the most tequila shots? 4, 8. It doesn't matter who won. The point is, we wound up too drunk to stay at the restaurant. They didn't evict us. They didn't kick us out. But for all intents and purposes, they did, because we were a mess. I remember we wound up puking our guts out in Alphabet City in Tompkins Square Park, I think. Just puking our guts out. Our clothes, very expensive clothes, were ruined. You know, it was like, you know, what the hell, you know? And then you see like these kids out in Russia, you know, these little punks, they're like 19, 20, 22 maybe. And they climb up these water towers, right? They get to the top of these water towers. They're like 300 feet high. And then they go out on a beam, on some random I-beam that's sticking out, and they hang from them by their fingertips. And they're laughing about it. Like it's a big fucking joke. Yeah? Like they're doing all this crazy shit. Why are they doing this crazy shit? The answer is obvious. They're trying to establish dominance. They're trying to establish who in the group is worth more. Because you see, among girls, it's obvious who's the dominant girl. The most attractive one, always. But among guys who don't have anything going for them, maybe there's like some really attractive guy and he's going to be like the semi-alpha, but the other guys aren't really going to consider him alpha just because he's good looking. See, guys don't have anything going for them when they are young. You see? They have nothing to look forward to, or let me phrase that. They have lots to look forward to, but at the present time, there is nothing to distinguish them from their peers. So they are constantly looking for something where they can distinguish themselves. And the easiest way to do it is, of course, to do something stupid, like hanging off the I-beam of some random water tower 300 feet off the ground. That's the easy way to do it. And that's why young kids, young guys, take incredibly stupid risks, because they want to distinguish themselves. They want to be the alpha of their group. And why do they want to be the alpha of their group? Sure, they want to lord it over a little bit over the other guys, but that's not really the important thing. What they want to be able to do is attract the most attractive women. That's the whole point of it. I mean, feminists talk about all this, toxic masculinity and shit like that. They have no fucking clue that guys are doing it for girls. Guys are doing this crazy shit in order to get the best girl. Look at me. I'm a 50-year-old fart. Semi-balding. No longer as fat as I used to be because of the fast I've been telling you about. But my point is, see, I have the money and the position, as it were, that I don't need to prove myself by doing something stupid. I don't have to climb a water tower, and hang 300 feet in the air and show off how cool I am. I don't have to, Why don't I? Because I have other clues, other signs in my life that point to my value as an individual, as a man. Yeah. A young guy, 20, 22, he doesn't have that. He hasn't earned any money. Maybe he has money because of his parents, but deep down, all those rich kids, those trust fund babies, they all know that, the things that they have, they're not really theirs. It's just daddy gave it to them. And it causes a great deal of resentment, and they actually try to do even more stupid shit to make up for the fact that the expensive cars and the expensive watches and the expensive clothes that they're wearing, is justified, But, most normal guys who don't come from trust funds, right? They need to establish something that makes them worthwhile. And as they get older and as they accrue accomplishments, money is just a symbol of your accomplishment. It's, in and of itself, it's trivial. But as they accrue signs of their accomplishments and of their worth, of their social worth, and as that social worth helps them get the women that they want, the urge to do crazy shit diminishes. For instance, I'm 50 years old. I would love to own a motorcycle. I just love to own a motorcycle. To have a motorcycle. I used to have a motorcycle. I crashed it a couple of times. Now, I have my eye on a Moto Guzzi. It would be great. It's like 750. It's like a middle-aged guy's bike. Not too fast. Very forgiving. I've test driven it a few times, and I have my eye on it, and I lust for it. I could go into the dealership today, and with the credit card that I have in my wallet right now, I could just zip and drive away in that Moto Guzzi. And I'm not going to do it because I'm not afraid of me crashing. I'm afraid that somebody else is going to crash into me. I live in London. London has a lot of traffic. It has double-decker buses. It's not the best city in the world for motorcyclists, right? I would love to have that Moto Guzzi. I could just taste it. Oh man, I just feel so cool, and the wind blowing in my thinning hair, and it would just be great. I'm not going to do it because I have too much to lose. I have too much to lose, and to take that risk is foolish. But a young guy doesn't have that. So a young guy gets sucked into what his stupid friends are doing, and winds up doing stupid shit. Now, 9 times out of 10, hanging from some water tower or something like that, they'll be fine. Nothing will happen. They'll hang from the water tower, they'll scare themselves silly, and they'll climb back up, and get down, and they'll be like, holy cow, I can't believe I did that. And 9 times out of 10, nothing happens. It's that 10th time. That 10th time. That's when you wind up, a red splotch at the bottom of a ravine. And that's what you want to avoid. And so what you have to ask yourself, and I'm speaking to you young guys who are watching this, you have to ask yourself if it's worth it. See, because right now, you don't have much going for you. You're like some poor schmuck, yeah? You don't have any money. Maybe you don't have a girlfriend, or likely you don't have a girlfriend. You don't have anything that you can point to in terms of accomplishments. I mean, you're nothing. You're just starting out. You're the big fat loser. Why? Because you're 20 or 22 or whatever. So you're starting out and you're a big fat loser, or so you feel. And frankly, so you are. Because you're nothing. You haven't done anything yet. Yeah? And so you want to distinguish yourself. And it's understandable. Now the point is, see, there's one thing about taking risks and another thing being foolhardy. You have to ask yourself if the risk is worth the reward. See, if hanging from that tower 300 feet up in the air is going to get you so much prestige among your group of peers that you'll get the hottest girl and you'll get the position that you want within your group, will it do that? If it does, then take the risk. If it doesn't, or you're not sure, don't. Don't be stupid. See, you have to know how to say no to the pressure of your group. Sometimes, by saying no, I'm not going to climb that 300-foot tower, they're going to call you a pussy. They might say that you're a chicken, they might even laugh at you, they might even ostracize you. Okay? Now, you have to learn to say no. I've been ostracized plenty of times from different groups. I've been ostracized and called names and called this, that, and the other. Yeah, for different reasons. Some justified, some not. But that's not important. The important thing is, see, you have to learn to say no to your peer group. You have to learn to walk away from your peer group. You have to learn to say no, and you have to learn it a little bit at a time. Like, well, you practice it. You practice saying no to your peer group. Especially when you're young, because you see, you're 20, you're 22, you don't have anything going for you, you're a big fat fucking loser. But you won't be forever. And you're going to work hard at whatever you choose, and little by little you're going to start accruing some successes, and those successes are going to snowball, and they'll be bigger and bigger and better successes, and all of a sudden you're going to be in the driver's seat. Now see, you have to ask yourself, am I willing to risk that future success, that future life, for the sake of pleasing these peers of mine whom I might not even very much like, you know? You have to ask yourself that. You have to be willing to walk away from that peer group. And they might be, you know, guys you met recently, they might be guys you've known all your life, but you have to learn to walk away from them, because that way you'll develop independence, real independence. See? Be your own man. Because that's what you want to be at the end of the day. You want to be your own man. You want to be able to say no. Because see, if you take a foolish risk and you wind up splattered at the bottom of that ravine, see, your so-called friends, you know what they're going to say? They're going to say, oh yeah, poor Johnny, you know, he did this stunt and, you know, fucking idiot, he did this stunt and he fell and he died. Oh, that's so sad. Come on, let's go get a drink. That is what they will say.